that we have on our products are licensed from independent artists who make money as royalties. And this is a complete just-in-time model. But this is not just how we started. We started with a yearbook company when we were in college, and we started taking up feedback. What do our friends and need? And it turns out they needed more stuff. So they wanted mugs, they wanted T-shirts, they wanted posters, fridge magnets, and a lot more. And we try to figure out, how we can bring things that they like, the designs, onto those products. And we ended up partnering with a lot of artists who started licensing their designs to us, in turn making money, with the sales. It was a win-win model for everybody. And we've been doing it for the last 5 years, and it's been an amazing journey.
Great. Bharti.
For me, I was working with Vodafone and I got an opportunity to work with social sector. After coming from there, I realized this is what I wanted to do, and which pushed me out to work for girls specifically. I spoke to my family, and my husband supported me to come up with my dream. And I started working slowly and steadily, and it reached up to that extent that I quitted my corporate job. And today I'm fully into my NGO, and we are working for social, economic, behavioral change of girls for Rajasthan, specifically to train them to become young women entrepreneurs, and in terms of education, helping the girls to come out for their studies, those who are not sent to school.
Great. So the next question is for Soumya and Praneeth. The entrepreneurial journey is rocky and not always linear, and in that process we tend to learn a lot about ourselves. So can you share some insight about one thing that you've learned about yourself through your journey?
So after working in the corporate sector for, right after college, I learned that I could be my own boss. If I was giving 8 hours in my job, I was giving 12 hours to my own work, and I was happy. I was earning more money, and I have become so patient discussing cake designs with people. I can go on for days, discussing engagement cakes, and getting into detailing. And also now with a baby, I am a super multitasker. So that's what I've learned.
Fantastic story. Praneeth.
So for me, it was the whole thing that changed was we tried. I became more self-aware. It's trying to test a lot more things, failing fast, and understanding, moving on, because it was more about getting sales done and figuring what works and what does not. So we just try to fail fast and learn from our own data and just move on. So self-awareness and then unlearning a lot of old habits. We were straight out of college. What were we doing? Like watching sitcoms when we were there. So that is what we had to change. It's a business. That's what we are running. So the mindset, that was something that completely changed.
It's what's interesting is that Bharti and Soumya came from the corporate world before they began their entrepreneurial journey. But with you, Praneeth, you started your professional life on the entrepreneurial journey.
Right.
Okay, great. So this is a question actually for each of you. So Bharti, we'll start with you. How did you go about learning about social media, and how has it actually helped your organization?
So initially when I started, I did not know how to use social media to build my platform. But while I created my account, I was just seeing and Googling at that point of time, how do I do it? But the moment I connected to Facebook, I got a lot of help from a lot of people who were a part of my network, and I did not know that my network will help me build so strong community that even when I have got threats to be killed, at that point of time when I post it on Facebook, people come to support me and mentor me too. So that's the big part, and slowly and steadily I built my business accordingly on Facebook as well as WhatsApp and Instagram. So it has gone big, and I have learned it at that point of time. It was like I started with only 5 people along with me on my community, and today we have thousands of people supporting us.
So you help to build your community, and then your community takes care of you.
Yeah.
Lovely. Praneeth?
So for us, I come from a background where SEO was something for us, and social was something just we were posting, looking for organic growth, hashtags. And we wanted to jump. Now we wanted more growth, and that's when we figured out, things that the social media is capable of. I started interacting with a lot more people, searches, videos. Facebook groups was something amazing. Facebook forums. There were answers to the questions I was directly looking for. So that helped a lot. And finding the right people at the right time that they're ready to help you without looking for anything else in return, but just your success. It's very rare, but I was very lucky to find such kind of people. So that's how I started learning about social media, building things that we wanted to. And we failed miserably. We've been down the drain so many times that now we're not even scared to be there. But this just helped. There was a lot of support.
Fail fast and iterate. Fail fast
Oh,
and
absolutely,
iterate.
absolutely.
Great. Soumya.
So I've done my master's in mass communication. So there, of course, we learned how important your social media is, and with my Facebook page, and like building ads and sending WhatsApp messages. I think that is how we build our business, and there are so many communities, baking communities on Facebook itself, where you need any kind of help, you get it. I mean, even your competition is willing to help you out. They don't consider. I mean, they don't. Then they're not worried about you taking away their clients, or you are not worried about them taking your clients away. Everybody is there to help each other because they know that my clients will be mine. They will come back to me for my gigs. So the Facebook community, the whole the groups of the baking world, they've been quite helpful, and yeah, I think I mean everything whatever I have has been through my Facebook page.
So what's interesting here is we have three entirely different organizations, but you've all effectively spoken about the same thing, that your communities are something that you are contributing to, but your communities help you with everything from physical support to inspiration to new ideas to extending your reach so that you can drive further impact. So I know we have some microphones around, so if anyone from the audience would like to think of some questions that you would like to ask our panelists, please get prepared. I'll come back to you in a few minutes' time. So this question's really for Bharati and Praneeth. Do you have a mentor or someone who's been helping you along the way and someone who was with you from the beginning? If so, then what was the role that they played in your success?
For me, I mean, there have been two kinds of roles that two different people have played. First of all, I think of all three of us actually, our families and our parents who've been our mentors. They supported us through so much and been there since the first day. They never said, you can't do it or just don't do it or figure something out. They've been there, they stood by, they've helped. When it comes to directly understanding how the social media works and how advertising, I've been from that background for a very long time. That works. I did find a lot of people on the forums and on the groups, and I directly reached out to them. I mean, I reach out to 10 people, at least 8 will respond, 2 or 3 are ready to help you out without anything in return. So some of them did become my mentors, and actually I was accountable to them, because I'm taking their help, I'm not paying them anything, but they're looking for my success. So I was accountable, I had to do it no matter what, and this really, really helped. So I really respect those people who've been there. My team who's been there, and no matter what, we've pushed each other very hard to work with along the way, so it's been great.
So for the people that were not in your family or in your close circle of friends, how did you find those mentors?
I basically, search was the first thing, then videos across various platforms, and I ended up in a lot of Facebook communities. So there are specific groups who are catering to the kind of things I'm looking for. Facebook was amazing. It was a closed community. You could talk to, ask your questions, and really get responses within minutes. So it's a global community. You'll find people in Australia, in India, in the US, Europe, and maybe even in countries you haven't heard the names of. And they were ready to help you out because they did test something that worked for them and did not work for them especially. And once they tell you that, you will have a lot of insight. I'm not going to try this. Let's do something new. And then you go back and share those things. So it's a feedback loop process that goes back and forth, and we were just doing that.
So access to knowledge and best practices.
Absolutely.
Bharati.
For me, Facebook has been my mentor as well as guide because when I started, it was alone, as I told you earlier. Slowly and steadily, when people started seeing my work, because it did not have any combination how to start and go off. It was just simple post, post, post. Then I started getting people who started connecting to me, telling, "You are very powerful, your stories are great, but you need guidance." And I got mentors not only from India but from across the globe. And related to various angles, there were always someone to guide me out there, and all through Facebook. Right? Even my volunteers have been my mentors at times. So that's how I have built it out, and I'll give the whole credit to Facebook, especially for this whole segment, because of Facebook, I'm sitting here, as well as I have learned a lot through Facebook.
Thank you. Do we have any questions from the audience? Can we get some microphones, please?